Right now, you flicked a switch and a room lit up. You turned a dial and dinner cooked. You pressed a button and stayed warm for the rest of the night. Now, take all of that away. No switch, no dial, no button. Just you, a dark cave, raw meat, and a cold so total it would kill you by morning. That used to be every single night for almost 2 million years. And the day your ancestors first made fire from nothing, that was the day everything changed. But here's the part nobody tells you. Fire almost killed us before it saved us. Let's be honest about where we started, because humans aren't built for the dark. We don't have night vision like a cat. We don't have warm blood like a seal. We go completely blind the second the sun drops, and we stay that way until it comes back. Our ancient ancestors weren't predators at night. They were prey. Every single night! Picture it. The sun goes down, and everything that wants to eat you, everything that has the teeth and claws and eyes for darkness, wakes up, and you're crouching in the black, completely sightless, completely still, hoping nothing finds you before morning. That was real life for the earliest humans. Not for one bad year, for hundreds of thousands of years. Lions hunt in the dark. Hyenas hunt in the dark. Leopards drag humans out of sleeping groups in the dark. The dark was a death sentence. On paper, we had no business surviving past the Stone Age. Wrong eyes, wrong claws, wrong teeth, wrong everything. And yet here you are. Which means somewhere between then and now, something shifted. And the thing that shifted was fire. Here's where the story gets strange. The earliest evidence of humans controlling fire goes back 1.5 million years in South Africa. 1.5 million years. That's not a typo. Before we had language, before we had art, before we had anything we'd recognize as civilization, someone crouched down over a flicker of light and chose not to let it die. We don't know who did it first. We'll never know. But we know what it meant. Because fire didn't just push back the dark. Fire rewired the human brain. Here's the part that sounds made up, but isn't. When humans started cooking food with fire, something happened to our biology. Cooked food gives you far more energy than raw food. The same piece of meat, cooked versus raw, your body extracts almost double the calories. Scientists believe the surge in energy from cooked food is part of what funded the explosive growth of the human brain. We literally thought our way up on the back of fire, and our bodies changed to match. Human intestines actually shrank compared to other great apes because we no longer needed a massive gut to process raw, tough food. We outsourced digestion to the fire. We became a different animal. But here's the problem nobody wants to say out loud. The same fire that fed us, grew us, and protected us was also the thing that nearly hunted us to extinction. For almost 1 million years, humans didn't actually make fire. They stole it. Lightning strikes a tree. Lava flows from a volcano. A wildfire sweeps the plain. And some ancient human, terrified, probably crept close enough to grab a burning branch and carry it back to the group. And then they guarded it for their lives. There are places in Africa where archaeologists found ancient hearths that burned in the same spot for tens of thousands of years. Not because they built new fires, because they never let the old one go out. Someone stayed awake every single night, for generation after generation, feeding that fire so it wouldn't die. Because if it died, they died with it. Think about what that means for a second. Your entire survival, everything you ate, every night you lived through, every predator that didn't eat you in the dark rested on a pile of burning sticks. Lose the fire in a rainstorm. Drop it crossing a river. Get chased away from it by a bigger animal. And just like that, your group is back in the dark, blind and freezing, waiting to be eaten. We know this happened. There's archaeological evidence of groups that had fire and then didn't. The remains stop. The hearths go cold. The people disappear. Fire was everything, and fire could be lost in a moment. So how did we finally stop being hostages to it? Around 400,000 years ago, something new appeared in the archaeological record. Small rocks, struck together at a specific angle. Pyrite, flint, iron ore. The first humans who figured out how to start fire from scratch didn't just solve a problem. They broke a 1,000,000-year-old chain. Suddenly, you didn't have to guard a flame every night for 10,000 years. Suddenly, you could travel away from a hearth and come back. Suddenly, a rainstorm couldn't kill you because you could make fire again in the morning. It's easy to underestimate how total that change was. There's a site in Israel Qasem Cave where scientists found evidence of humans using flint to create fire around 300,000 years ago. And here's the detail that gets you. They found the same spot used over and over for 200,000 years straight, not because they were trapped there, because they chose to come back. They'd mastered fire enough that they had a home base, a place they returned to, a hearth that meant here. That's not just survival. That's the beginning of something that eventually becomes a house, a village, a city, everything. But even with fire mastered, there was one more wall they had to break through. And it wasn't about warmth. It wasn't about food. It was about what fire did to the human mind when the sun went down. Picture the moment the sun goes down and fire fire is burning. The dark is still there. The predators are still out there. But the group is safe in the circle of light. And for the first time in human history, there's nothing to do. No gathering. Too dark. No hunting. Too dangerous. Just the fire and the people around it. And something happened in that space that no other animal on Earth has ever done. They talked. Anthropologists who study modern hunter-gatherer societies found something remarkable. During the day, people talk almost entirely about work practical things. But around the fire at night, the conversation completely changes. At night, around the fire, people tell stories. Stories about hunts that went wrong. About the ones who didn't come back. About what lived beyond the ridge. About the gods they imagined in the dark. The firelit night is likely where human storytelling was born. Where imagination came alive. Where we first started making meaning out of the chaos of being alive. And here's the thing that gets me every time I think about it. You are the direct descendant of every one of those people who sat in that firelight and refused to let it go out. Every song, every story, every religion, every country, every book, every film, every word ever spoken. All of it traces back to a group of terrified humans in the dark, huddled around a flame they didn't understand, telling each other that tomorrow would come. We took the most dangerous thing our world ever threw at us, the dark, the cold, the hunger, the predators, and we turned it into a campfire. And then we sat down and became human around it. We didn't just survive the darkness. We built civilization in spite of it. And the next time you flip a switch, remember what that light replaced.